Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth here. So I'm just going to do this little video today. I walked from Tui to O Porriño. I think it was about 18 kilometers. It was definitely, by the time I got here, I was just done. I was thinking about going to Moss, but I thought I might as well do this walk and talk kind of breakdown of the day. I walked back out onto the Camino a couple kilometers so you can see the walk into O Porriño. O Porriño is an industrialized city for Galicia. It's very less than impressive. This is probably the most impressive part, is just the little nature side kind of walk in, because I'm in between a freeway and an industrial city. I would put it on the same scale as Detroit, or if you've been to Germany and you know what Dortmund, Germany looks like, it's not that pretty of a city. So it's definitely this blue-collared middle-class city that is kind of revolving around the theme of, where I've been going toward. But it's interesting how the landscape and the energy of Portugal and Galicia, Spain, is super different. So a lot of today's walk, it did go through some Roman ruins and the Roman XIX road. And what I would say is that the feeling and the landscape in general sorry, I'm trying to not get hit in the head with all these acorns and leaves falling. The feeling that I had in general today is that Galicia feels a lot like the Pacific Northwest. I mean, we don't have eucalyptus trees in the Northwest, but we do have, the cypress and the oak trees and things like that. So it kind of gives me the little vibe and feeling of home. And today's walk was very, very social. I met a Dutch guy named John. He is married with 3 children. There was a Canadian woman, Anne, who is married with 2 children. She has twins. And then later in the walk, a guy approached us from behind, and he was from Madrid, and he is married with 2 children. So it was very interesting today. Hola. Yeah, thank you. I had just really interesting conversations with the guy from Madrid, because we were talking. He's doing the last 100 kilometers basically. So he started in Tui. He works for the military in Madrid, and he needed to escape his life, escape technology and all of that, and come and do something on his own, which this was his idea, and this is actually his third Camino. And we had some funny and interesting conversations, a lot of it revolving around like the future of society. And he has very great concerns, and I spoke and mentioned that in Portugal, all these people tending the farms, and Anne agreed with me, they were all old people. You did not see anybody my age. And I kind of talked a lot about this in the video the other day, but even walking around here in O Porriño, it's like these are American kids who speak Spanish. They're all wearing Adidas shoes, Nike t-shirts, Levi shirts. They're all drinking Coca-Cola, and it's, oh God, I don't know. It just like eats away at my mind, because we are really, this is like a very big indicator of how manipulative human beings are. I mean, I think especially when you're younger and a teenager, you're so easily influenced because you want to be cool and hip and things like that. And the Madrid guy said the number one problem today is that the children in Spain, probably all of Europe, need to learn how to respect their elders and just respect people and society in general. And he said a lot of what's happening is that the kids are getting so influenced by the teachers and such in school that they're instilling a lot of beliefs, whether they're good or bad, to the children. And so he's saying there needs to be a lot of influence from the parents to instill these guiding principles. And the more that I spoke with him, it's like the same shit that's happening in America is happening in Spain. It's happening in Canada. It's happening in Portugal. This is like a generational problem, and he said the technology has changed the way we lived, and it's not for the better. He's very, very concerned for his son's future. you know, he was saying once these old people die off at these farms in Galicia and in Portugal, he's like, those farms are done. He goes, the young kids don't want anything to do with this. And to one degree, it's because we're becoming very intelligent and intellectual and educated that that's a good thing. But then, you know, it's like, where's the balancing act? You know, I spoke with this with my ex-husband. There was actually a very big lack of blue-collared kind of hands-on jobs like plumbing, electrician, to be an electrician, to be a construction worker. And the irony is that a lot of these jobs are now starting to become a little more popular with some people in the Pacific Northwest, especially some of my clients who have sons, who see that, you know, going to school for 4 years, unless it's something like engineering, is not guaranteeing a very high paying job. And some of these kids, their sons are starting to go to technical school to become an electrician or, you know, a plumber and things like that. And you can make a really good living off of that stuff, in addition to we need this. So I don't know, it's very fascinating that a lot of this experience has revolved around family and ancestry, and, you know, hearing their experience as parents, which it's the same as every other American parent has said, that it's a very rewarding experience, but it definitely has its challenges, and it takes a lot of time and sacrifice, you know, from certain things. And it's just fascinating because it's kind of go to these, like, I sit in these churches and I'm like, why do I care so much about this? Because some of this stuff completely wrecked and ruined my marriage because I was so fucking stressed out by certain things that happened, you know, in Germany. And I guess it's like in my brain, I can't help but mentally stress over. Now, it's not my worry every day or anything like that, but it's like the more I analyze the world, it's like I'm noticing this dumbing down. It's this need to want to fit in or have this cool, hip, trendy corporate cultural like look. And it's funny because I'm just thinking, I'm like, you know, these people, these corporate elites are so bloody rich that they're probably just sitting on their thrones laughing their ass off, while all of us, you know, underneath are just like drinking their juice of consumerism, basically. And it's just scary. It's like there's this shitty attitude in America. It's like, who's gonna farm our lands? It's not gonna be Americans. It's gonna be, you know, the migrants. And it's like, shut the fuck up. This is an entitlement attitude problem. Because when I lived in Germany, you know who were the hotel maids? They were the old German women. In Poland, do you know who were cleaning the streets? It was the old Polish men. It's like these cultures have people of their own kind that do their work. Now that shit's changing a lot, especially in Germany, because of their migration problem, using these people for cheap labor. That, I don't know, it's like, why can't American youth just want to clean the streets as like a summertime job? You know, I just remember being in grad school and having to like manage the undergrad kids and just say, you know what, this is your job to clean the gym equipment. They felt too high up, too entitled to clean the gym equipment. Like, it's a shitty job, but you know what, when you're 18, 19, 20 years old in college, that's the type of shit work that you gotta do. You have to do the grunt work in order to move up in life. And when you get out of school, that is your benefit and privilege to move on from a cleaning job and into like an office job. It's, I don't know, I can go on forever about this stuff, and I had so many different thoughts and conversations, but it's like the guy from Madrid today, you know, he was just, it's the same thing. It's like this different type of culture. Now, Spanish men are Spanish men. Like, there is no lack of fidelity in that culture, that's for sure. Like, some of these people, like, it's just in their blood in Southern Europe to have like mistresses and affairs, like completely something opposite of what I would ever want, because that shit's like too emotionally damaging for me. But like, you know, he was saying like in Madrid, like people will just tell you what you want, but he's like, here's the thing, you can't go through life not trusting people, but you also have to be cautious to protect yourself. So he's like, it's a balancing act. And he and I were talking that a lot of people today are so black and white. It's like, you're right or you're left, or you're this or you're that. And he said nobody is in the middle ground. And that's where a lot of my viewpoints and perspectives try to come into play, because I do think the truth lies somewhere down the middle. And I, you know, I don't know, I think I have 3 years of stuff just bubbling within me, that it's like I'm spewing and purging a lot of this stuff out on this journey. It's because, you know, it's like my ex-husband was like, you talk about this stuff too much, but he didn't put his foot down and say like, this is bothering me. And so, you know, it's like I've put myself on the back burner with all these things, and I haven't given a shit about it. But like, I'm on my own now. I'm in this world of this beautiful experience. And, you know, it's like even talking to the Dutch guy, it's like the job that he has is very cutthroat, and you get called into the office and get your little red tag ticket and you get fired. So all of us are undergoing all of these different problems. It's the same shit everywhere. And I guess I express this because there's still that like shitty attitude a lot in America, that it's like people who do go abroad see a different life and really enjoy it. And that's a great thing. But then they're like, fuck this country, this, that, and the other. And it's like the reality of today is the grass is not greener on the other side. So, you know, I've learned that lesson at the age of 23. After going to India and Australia, I was very much not wanting to, I was very much not wanting to stay in America, and I had such a horrible attitude about it. And I remember my mother saying something similar to like, the grass isn't greener on the other side. And you know what? I went to Australia and I had a horrible work experience there. My boss was a nightmare. She was a micromanager. And it made me realize that these problems exist everywhere in the world. And this technological digital age is drastically changing us, and it's changing our youth. So the irony of me kind of like pulling out these goddess cards and stuff like that about like guiding children, it's like, I'm like, am I supposed to have a kid and instill better beliefs, or am I supposed to try to guide children? But I don't know how or what to do. It's like, what do? Do you use the system against the system? Like use YouTube to help kids learn better values about their ancestry and their country and their culture? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you guys would have some thoughts on that. But all right, this video is long enough. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow for day 10. Bye.